Imagine the sky turning pitch black in the middle of the day. That's what happened on April 10, 1815, when Mount Tambora erupted. The Indonesian island of Sumbawa was home to this colossal volcano, and on that fateful day, it unleashed a cataclysmic eruption that shook the world. The day turned into night, as a thick, ashen cloud blotted out the sun, plunging the surroundings into darkness. Now, to give you a sense of scale, this was no ordinary eruption. The sheer magnitude of this event was unparalleled. It was as if the earth itself was being torn asunder. The deafening boom of the eruption was heard as far away as Sumatra, over 1,200 miles away. That's more than the distance from New York to Miami. In the immediate aftermath, panic ensued. The ground shook violently, buildings crumbled, and the air filled with a suffocating mix of ash and smoke. The world as they knew it was changing right before their eyes. So, how big was this eruption, you may wonder? Well, let's put it into perspective. The eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980, one of the most significant volcanic events in recent history, was a mere pinprick compared to Tambora. Mount Tambora spewed out an estimated 160 cubic kilometers of volcanic material. That's about 14 times more than the eruption of Mount St. Helens. And the effects weren't limited to the immediate vicinity. The ash cloud was so massive that it reached the stratosphere, spreading across the globe and affecting weather patterns for years to come. In mere moments, the world was plunged into darkness. But this was only the beginning of the devastation caused by Mount Tambora's eruption. The true scale of the disaster, its far-reaching impacts, and the lasting changes it wrought on our planet, is a story of catastrophe, survival, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. It's a story we're just starting to unravel. But what caused such a monstrous eruption, and how did it unfold? Mount Tambora, sitting on the Indonesian island of Sumbawa, is part of the Ring of Fire. This is a major area in the basin of the Pacific Ocean where a large number of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur. It's a geologic hotspot where the Earth's lithospheric plates meet and interact in a symphony of tectonic activity. The Tambora eruption resulted from a subduction zone, a place where one tectonic plate slides beneath another. In this case, the Eurasian plate was being forced under the Indo-Australian plate. This process pushed materials deep into the Earth's mantle, creating the perfect conditions for magma to form. Over thousands of years, pressure built up as magma accumulated beneath the surface of Mount Tambora. Fast forward to 1815, and the pressure beneath Tambora reached a breaking point. The mountain had given off warning signs for several years, leading up to the eruption, with minor rumblings and smoke billowing from its peak. Then, on April 5th of that year, the mountain roared to life with a series of powerful explosions. However, it was the event on April 10th that truly marked the catastrophic power of Tambora. The magma chamber's roof collapsed, causing a violent explosion. This was the most powerful eruption in recorded human history, with a force equivalent to 1,000 Hiroshima-sized atomic bombs. The explosion was so loud, it was heard over 1,200 miles away, and the ash plume reached an astounding height of over 25 miles. The eruption lasted several days, producing pyroclastic flows that swept across the land and tsunamis that ravaged coastal areas. By the time the smoke cleared, the top one-third of the mountain was simply gone, replaced by a caldera 4 miles wide. As the ash cloud spread across the globe, the real impact of the Tambora eruption began to reveal itself. The eruption of Mount Tambora didn't just affect those near the volcano. It had global repercussions. The colossal explosion of 1815 was not a solitary event confined to the Indonesian archipelago. Its consequences rippled out, affecting the entire globe in a myriad of ways. Imagine, if you will, a world where summer never arrives. In 1816, this became a chilling reality, earning the year the moniker, "the year without a summer." A cloak of volcanic ash and sulfuric aerosols, ejected by the mighty Tambora, veiled the sun, causing temperatures to plummet worldwide. This sudden and drastic shift in climate was not without consequences. Across Europe and North America, crops wilted in the fields, unable to withstand the cold and lack of sunlight. Harvests failed, leading to a scarcity of food. This, in turn, led to one of the most widespread famines in recorded history. The scarcity wasn't limited to food either. The cold snap also resulted in a shortage of feed for livestock, compounding the problem further. But the tale of Tambora's aftermath doesn't end with famine. The sudden lack of food and the resulting malnutrition made people more susceptible to disease. Outbreaks of typhus, cholera, and dysentery ran rampant, claiming countless lives. The economic fallout from the Tambora eruption was equally severe. With agriculture forming the backbone of most economies in the early 19th century, the crop failures led to skyrocketing food prices and severe economic downturns. Trade patterns shifted as nations scrambled to find new sources of food and other essentials. Social unrest followed as the struggle for survival intensified. Revolts and rebellions broke out in many parts of the world, leading to significant geopolitical changes. Some historians even suggest that the widespread discontent and upheaval contributed to radical movements like the Romantic and the Gothic, which questioned established norms and values. The Tambora eruption changed the world in ways no one could have predicted. It was a stark reminder of how interconnected our world is and how a single event can trigger a cascade of effects that reverberate around the globe. Despite the devastation, some people survived the Tambora eruption. Their stories provide a chilling first-hand account of this catastrophic event. In the chaos and turmoil of the eruption, it's often easy to overlook the human stories, the sheer individual willpower that carried survivors through. Let's delve into some of these accounts and try to imagine what it might have been like. Take the story of a Dutch colonist who penned down his experiences. He wrote about a sudden darkness that descended, turning day into night. He describes hearing thunderous sounds, as if a mountain was collapsing, and the air growing heavy with ash and smoke. His words bring to life the terror of those moments, the uncertainty of not knowing whether they would see another dawn. Then there's a poignant account from a young woman named Siti. In her writings, she recounts the terrible loss of her family, her home, and her village. She speaks of the relentless hunger and the struggle to find food in a land blanketed by ash. Despite the sorrow, there's a determination in her words, a will to survive and rebuild. Through her story, we gain a glimpse into the human spirit's resilience amidst such unimaginable hardship. Another account comes from a British sea captain who was sailing in the Indonesian archipelago at the time of the eruption. He describes a sea of floating pumice, so thick that it slowed his ship to a crawl. He speaks of the eerie glow in the night sky, a haunting reminder of the devastation occurring on land. His account underscores the far-reaching effects of the eruption, extending far beyond the immediate vicinity of Mount Tambora. These are but a few of the many tales of survival, of resilience, in the face of one of the most devastating events in human history. Each story is a testament to the indomitable human spirit, to our capacity to endure and overcome. These accounts remind us that behind the statistics and scientific facts, there were real people whose lives were forever changed by this event. So, the Tambora eruption was a tragedy, but it also offers valuable lessons for us today. The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815 was a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions, a stark reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature. But from this disaster, we've drawn invaluable lessons that still resonate today, more than 2 centuries later. Since the Tambora eruption, there have been significant advancements in volcanic monitoring and disaster preparedness. We've developed sophisticated technologies that can detect even the slightest seismic activity, enabling us to predict volcanic eruptions with a degree of accuracy that was unthinkable in the early 19th century. We've also made strides in disaster management, devising strategies to mitigate the impact of volcanic eruptions and ensure the safety of those living in volcanic regions. But the relevance of the Tambora eruption extends beyond the realm of volcanology. In our current era, marked by pressing challenges such as climate change and the need for disaster risk reduction, the Tambora eruption serves as a crucial reminder. It underscores the profound interconnectedness of our world, showing us that an event occurring in a remote corner of the globe can have far-reaching and long-lasting consequences. The Tambora eruption affected the global climate, leading to widespread crop failures and famine. Today, as we grapple with the impacts of climate change, this event is a sobering illustration of the potential consequences of a disrupted climate. It reminds us of the urgency of addressing climate change and building resilience in our societies. Moreover, the Tambora eruption highlights the importance of scientific understanding in navigating the challenges of our time. It's a testament to the power of science in helping us comprehend and respond effectively to natural disasters. While we cannot prevent volcanic eruptions, the story of Mount Tambora reminds us of the importance of preparedness, resilience, and scientific understanding in the face of natural disasters. It's an enduring lesson, one that continues to inform our approach to the natural world and our place within it.